So the Crown Tundra is going to be here tomorrow. So I figured with all of these new Pokemon rotating in, it might be good for me to show you guys how to build competitive teams in Pokemon Sword and Shield. I have dabbled in this quite a bit, and this is my first game playing competitive, and I've gotten a Master Ball tier a couple times now, and I really enjoy the competitive scene. Now granted, I still play pretty casually, so my teams are not like the best they could be because I'm lazy partly, and I just don't want to like change certain stuff like natures or whatever. I leave them be and I just play the game so that these Pokemon aren't crafted to perfection, but they get the job done. So if you are looking for a step-by-step build the best team ever guide, this is not it. But if you're looking to get into competitive and you want to just start messing around in it, this is the video for you because I'm going to show you guys exactly how to do that. Now, before we get into it, I will say I do have a beginner's guide to getting into VGC, and this covers all my tips and tricks for people that want to get into the competitive side of Pokemon, because there is a lot that you should definitely think about, and I will link that in the description below so you guys can check that out. And I also have a ton of videos covering like breeding guides, stuff like that, because I am not covering that here in this video. This is strictly about the team building aspect. That is all this video is going to cover. So if you have questions about any of that other stuff, be sure to check out my playlist for my Pokemon Sword and Shield guides, and there are some videos in there that could be very helpful to you guys. So if this is your first time on the channel, be sure to subscribe as well, because there's going to be a ton of Pokemon content coming in the near future because of the Crown Tundra release. So if that is something you want to be a part of, be sure to subscribe and stick around. But let's talk about team building in Pokemon Sword and Shield. So I've currently brought us over here to Pokemon Showdown because this is easily one of the best tools that you could use to make competitive teams in Pokemon Sword and Shield. This tool is fantastic. It allows you to build teams outside of the game so that way you don't waste time in the game making mistakes and building the wrong teams. This is a fantastic tool that I highly recommend you guys utilize because, like I said, it'll save you a bunch of time when you're trying to make a team. You won't be wasting time in-game screwing up your team and having to constantly rebreed Pokemon. This is the best way to do it. So for this video, I'm going to be making a doubles battles team. That is exclusively what I play. I do not play single battles, but this video can still apply to single battles. It's a similar process in crafting a team. When you're making a team, it's like a puzzle. You're finding the pieces that work best together in order to, complete the puzzle, or in the case of Pokemon, win the game. And it's really fun in that manner because, like, figuring out which Pokemon work well together and finding out cool strategies, it's just a blast. So I'm going to go over here. I'm going to be making this for VGC because that is the competitive. I play ranked battles. And then we're going to go team builder here. We're going to make a new team. Now, the team I'm going to make is the team I showcased earlier in a video today, which was my Flapple Hustle team. And that team was a lot of fun to play with. And when I made this team originally, I made it on my iPad. I made it in Showdown. So that is the use of this tool. It is fantastic. So we're going to go ahead and add a Pokemon. So we're going to start with Flapple because we know Flapple wants to be our main sweeper. That is what you really want to do, is figure out which Pokemon you want to kind of run the table with. Flapple is going to be our main attacker. So with Flapple, we know that its attack stat is super high. I'm going to max that out. Next, I'm going to max out its speed because I know I want it to attack before the other Pokemon. Now, it has the ability Hustle, its hidden ability. It's fantastic. This Pokemon's attack is 1.5 times stronger, and the accuracy on its physical attacks is reduced as a result. So you're going to miss a couple attacks. However, you can really make sure that you don't miss attacks by giving it Dragon Dance, and then by Dynamaxing it. So Dragon Dance is going to raise the user's attack and speed by 1. This ensures that we do even more damage on top of the Hustle, and that we have more speed so that we can guarantee that first attack. This is super awesome. Next, we just need to kind of fill in what we use for our attacks. I'm just going to throw in what I use. We got Dragon Rush. None of this matters because this is just my team. This is just what I'm trying to show you guys, the importance of figuring out the Pokemon you want to use first. Get an idea and then take it from there. So we've got our Flapple set up, but we know that because of the Hustle ability, there's a good chance it misses, and we want that extra attack and speed buff, so we're going to have to use Dragon Dance first turn. So because of this, I have to figure out a Pokemon that's going to complement the Flapple, and this works with single battles as well. You need to find Pokemon that are going to be able to swap in and out and work well together. So we're going to add another Pokemon. We need a Pokemon that's going to distract from the Flapple. So prior, when I made this team, I used Togekiss. Togekiss has recently been banned in competitive play, so I have swapped out for Clefable. And I gave Clefable the leftovers, and it has Magic Guard. Now, the reason I decided to go with Clefable was because it has Follow Me. The reason I want Follow Me is it allows me to distract Pokemon with Clefable because it's very tanky and it can take some hits. I can distract a turn with Clefable to set up Dragon Dance and next turn be ready to go by Dynamaxing Flapple. So the two Pokemon work very, very well together. So I'm going to go ahead and fill out the rest of these. I have Protect on it. I have Dazzling Gleam. And I have Flamethrower. Now, it's important to note that you're only able to take 4 Pokemon into a double battle. I believe it's 3 into a single battle. I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that. But you need to have an idea of the 4 Pokemon that you're able to interchange, or the 6 Pokemon you're going to be able to interchange into a 4 Pokemon team. That is super important as you go in. So, yes, we have 2 Pokemon that work well together, but that's not the only 2 Pokemon we're going to be taking into this battle. So I'm going to go ahead and finish giving all the stats and whatnot here. And again, this is all going to be your preference. This is whatever your team is running. So with me, I'm looking here, and I know I'm going to need the defense up on that so it can take some more hits, and then I'm going to give it special defense on top of that. But now, like I said, we only have 2 of our 4 that we're going to be taking in, so we need to find more Pokemon that are going to work. So right now, we got a very attack-heavy team, so we might want to get some special attack in there. Now, I run Alchemy on this team, because Alchemy has a really high base special attack stat, as well as really high special defense, so it can take some hits for sure. So I give it a little bit of HP, I give it a little bit of special attack, and this is just mine. And I give it some EVs and IVs, and again, I'm not covering this in this video, this is something else you can look up. So now I'm going to give it its moves. We're going to give it Dazzling Gleam, because it is a very strong special attacker, and I'm going to give it a Life Orb because I want this to be a very powerful special attacker. We're also going to give it Energy Ball, and we're going to give it Protect as well as Recover. Recover is just so I can get it back to full health. Because it's so tanky, it's not going to take a ton of hits, so I can keep bringing it back up and people will keep wasting attacks on it. Now, if you look, its speed, not super high, but this works in our favor if we're facing a Trick Room team, or in the case of a Tailwind team, we would want a Pokemon that can actually set up Trick Room as a counter. So, I like Chandelure. Chandelure has really high base special attack, so it does a ton of damage, and it can also set Trick Room. So, what I've done here is I max out special attack, and I max out its HP. I give it a Focus Sash, and then I give it Trick Room. This is so I can counter the Trick Room play. If I maybe don't want to have Trick Room in effect, I can activate Trick Room on my Chandelure and counteract theirs. Or if I know it's a Tailwind team, if I see, Whimsicott before it got banned, or if I see a Talonflame, I can stop that by activating Trick Room. I actually did this in the video where I showcased this team. So then I give it a couple other abilities. I give it Heat Wave so it can attack because it is a strong special attacker. This is another thing to note. When you're picking attacks for your Pokemon, you want to have attacks that counter the Pokemon that counter it. So I would be afraid of another Ghost type Pokemon, or I would be afraid of a Water type Pokemon. So with this guy, I can run Energy Ball. That would be able to cover a Water type Pokemon if I hit first, and then Shadow Ball would be able to cover a Ghost type Pokemon that I'd be afraid of. So you want to try and incorporate some abilities that, want to try to incorporate some moves and attacks that counter the Pokemon that counter the one you're using. So now we're sitting here and we've got a solid lineup here. So if we have a Trick Room problem, we can bring out Chandelure. Now you're kind of to the point where you're like, I have a good lineup, but I need to focus on what's meta. Because of the fact that you're going to see a lot of meta Pokemon over and over and over and over. So like right now, Dracovish is super meta, so I run Gastrodon in this team because Gastrodon's Storm Drain ability is super nice. Pokemon draws water moves to itself, and it raises the special attack by 1. Super good against a Dracovish. Also, it's a slower Pokemon. Notice how with the rest of the Pokemon aside from Flapple, I'm working to have slower Pokemon because of my Trick Room. Granted, these Pokemon are going to be fine because these Pokemon are pretty beefy. Gastrodon can take some hits, Clefable can take some hits, Alchemy can take some hits. So these Pokemon, even if I don't set up Trick Room, despite them being slow, they're still going to be able to attack. These are all things you have to consider along the way. So I'm just going to set this guy up, give it some defense and special defense, and then a little special attack. Give it attacks. We got Protect. We got Scald. We got Sludge Bomb. And we've got, let's see, Earth Power. And the final Pokemon that we need, because we're just trying to cover all the types that we need to be worried about. So Gastrodon would cover, electric types. We have Chandelure will cover some grass types or bug type Pokemon. And we don't really have anything here that's going to handle a fairy type Pokemon, which could be problematic because we're running Flapple. So I like Corviknight. Corviknight is a steel type Pokemon, which is super effective against fairy. So having Corviknight in this team would be super helpful. And Corviknight, I give a Citrus Berry just because of the fact that I don't want it to take too much damage because it is just kind of going to be my beefy guy. So we're going to give it a lot of defense. We're going to give it some special defense and then a little attack. That's whatever. Iron Head. Again, you want to also look at secondary effects that your abilities can do. So like Iron Head has a chance to flinch the target. Super helpful. So run Protect, Brave Bird, and then we want Body Press as well. And there is my team. I have a solid lineup for any given situation that I can swap these Pokemon in and out to decide how I'm going to use them effectively. They're super interchangeable. So, for example, in the video where I showed off this team, I had a situation where I knew they were going to activate Whirlwind, so I ran Chandelure in the front line, and they also had a Dracovish, and I figured that would come out as well. So I ran Alchemy and Chandelure in the front. I set the Trick Room to counter the Whirlwind, and I used Alchemy to use Dazzling Gleam to damage the Dracovish and the Whimsicott. In my back line, I decided to bring Corviknight in case I needed to cover some other damages, and then I ran Flapple. You would think, because Flapple's whole point is to set up Dragon Dance and Dynamax, that it wouldn't be effective, but in the back line, because it has the Choice Scarf, it's still an effective Pokemon to Dynamax if you save your Dynamax till a late game. So there's just a bunch of things to consider, and it's just a bunch of fun little puzzle pieces like I mentioned earlier. It is a really fun process building a team, and I hope this video was helpful and you kind of got what I was trying to say. So in summary, you want to pick a strategy for your team, whether that be Trick Room, whether it be Tailwind, whether it be Hustle, like in this case where I'm setting Flapple up. But then you also want to be able to pick Pokemon that complement your strategy, but also pick Pokemon that are going to be able to handle other situations that you may encounter along the way, like Trick Room and Tailwind. If other people are activating that, you need to figure out a way on how you're going to be able to handle the situation. So picking other Pokemon around that, like my Chandelure, which is a counter to the Tailwind or a Trick Room team, that's the kind of thing you got to do. You got to piece it together bit by bit, and you're not always going to succeed. My first competitive team was garbage. It could win some battles, but it just wasn't that good. So, you test and you test again, and that's why I highly recommend you use Showdown, because now that we've made this team, I can go over here and click Battle, pick a name, and then I can go right in and play. So I can test out this team against other people that are playing the same format as me, so that I know how I'm going to be able to perform, and it's fantastic. You get to pick all of this stuff, you get to just play a competitive battle, and it's a useful tool. That is going to be it for this video, guys. I hope you found it entertaining and helpful, and if you did, be sure to leave a like and smash the subscribe button for more videos like this in the future. Be sure to share the video with your friends. Let's grow this community here on the channel. Speaking of community, we got a community Discord, people over there playing games like Pokemon and Animal Crossing, so check that out if that's something that interests you. I also stream over on Twitch, a lot of Pokemon, a lot of Animal Crossing, so check that out if that's something that interests you as well. All my other social media should be on screen here at this point, so if you're interested in keeping up with me, this channel, the stream, anything like that, check me out there as well. But like I said, that's all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you all in the next video.